Okay, let's talk about it. The talk is about obedience is better than sacrifice. It's actually a little bit of a play on the last video I just did about people pleasing, but let's get into it. Obedience is better than sacrifice. I was always one of those people where if I didn't know enough to do something and it seemed too hard or it was a pressure cooker situation, I would rather take on labor as opposed to staying in the pressure cooker. Because I'm one of them people that when I'm in a pressure cooker situation, I am getting myself trained. God is training me in dealing with that a lot better. And I thank Him for that. But I would literally take on labor faster than I would take on just going ahead on making the mistakes and learning from the mistakes. I would just take the labor. Let me explain what I mean. One thing coming to mind about it is when I was working at Popeyes. Now, I used magic in order to get that job at Popeyes. I used the power of God to get that job at Popeyes. And the reason why I know it was because of me and it was because of my effort, basically, what I've been telling y'all about, what I told you in the first video, the second video I made this morning, the Moses situation. God told him to tap a rock before, to use the rod to part the Red Sea and all these different things. But the next time he gave him an instruction, his instruction was to speak to the rock for the water to come pouring out, not tap it. And out of his frustration towards the people, because he was allowing the people to control and manipulate his mind, his body, his spirit, his soul, and his choices. Instead of speaking to that rock that last time, he tapped it. And because of that, God didn't get the glory that was meant to be for him. Instead, the people gave that glory that belonged to God to Aaron and Moses. Excuse me. When I was working at Popeyes, everything from the beginning to the end showed me I was out of alignment and showed me that I had used that rod instead of speaking. It actually took me 5 or 6 years. It took this year, and this occurred in 2022. So 2022, 23, 24, 25. It took 4 years, not 6, but 4 years for me to understand what I had done wrong. From the beginning to the end of my job there, it was nothing but churros. It was nothing but chaos. Nothing but chaos. Like, there's no other word for it. I mean, from me starting, no, first of all, to me starting to get the job. I walked in, and then someone else that I smoked with back then had told me, well, I wish I knew when you were going that you were going before you went. Because the manager you needed to talk to, that person is not going to be there until 2 p.m. And I was like, okay, you walking over there, we can walk over there together. He was like, yeah, say less. So we did. I went over the first time and gave my information to the manager that was there on duty. And then when I came back at 2, the manager that I was coming there to see was there. So he called me back there into the office. And I was pretty much selling myself to him. Like, I was like, look, I'm a hard worker. I'm this, I'm that. I'm always on time. I'm punctual. Whatever the job calls for, I'll do it. I just need the job. And he loved what I said. So he was like, come back tomorrow. Boom, boom, boom. We're going to start your training on the computer. Boom, boom, boom. Well, when I came the next day, there was no computer available because one other person was already training on it. So I had to just stand behind them and watch what they were doing. That was the first problem. The second problem is I didn't work that day. We did, I think, go around the kitchen and he showed us different stuff we needed to see based off the videos that I saw over the young man's shoulders. Other than that, that was it for that day. So then I came back the next day. I got there the next day. The same manager that I had stepped to about getting a job, not the general one, just the one that was currently on duty. She was in there by herself, and it was me and another young man. that had been sent over from a different store to work there that morning. We were there. She went and she trained him on how to drop chicken. And for me, she just kept telling me to hold on, hold on. She was going to train me on something, but she had to go ahead and get the sides and all that stuff together because we were literally there at 10. The doors were supposed to be opening, or rather the window at least was supposed to be open by 10:30. So I'm like, okay, cool. So in the middle of all this going on, you could tell this lady had to have had a whole lot on her plate, had a whole lot going on at home and at work. And she got so frustrated that in the middle of her flouring chicken, she ended up sitting in the middle of the floor. I do mean sitting in the middle of the floor, kicking and screaming, throwing flour everywhere. And she said she was leaving. She was like, she's in this on her own. She not getting the proper help that she need. Boom, boom, boom. She was leaving. I forgot to mention that when I came in the first time, they actually was firing somebody on the spot right in front of me. So that was actually the first part of confusion that I came up against. So we standing there like, we don't know what to do. We don't know how to run this store. Like, this is my second day, my first day doing anything, and I ain't even did nothing yet. I ain't been trained on nothing. She had just trained this young man, this other young man. She just trained him on how to drop the chicken. So we there, not knowing what to do, boom, boom, boom. Give it another hour later, people coming in, coming through the drive-through. The doors was locked, so nobody could get into the lobby. But other than that, they bumping their horns outside. It's just chaos, 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 chaos. So then when somebody did show up, I started being trained on how to cook the other fried product, the fries and all that good stuff. So I started doing that. And it's hot. It is what it is. It's a job. I was in a fight for my life at that time. I really needed this job. Or so I believed. Next thing I know, I'm being sent home early and all that. Other people came in to work. Come to find out, it's products and stuff that they don't have in the store. Both the stuff to serve the food as well as the stuff to cook to serve food. Like, they just out of stuff. Everything. They just out of everything. So then it gets frustrating for one of the people that's running the drive-thru because she's like, I can't do this. Like, you expect me to get up here with this headset on with people pulling up trying to order stuff that we ain't got. She's like, I can't work like this. So she ended up clocking out and she ended up leaving. And ended up getting fired for that. Then the next day I came there, they didn't have my name up there posted for to be a cashier or a crewman. They had me up there as a manager. It was another girl with a similar name to mine. Hers was with an S. Mine starts with an R. But they had me up there as manager. And I'm like, manager? I ain't never been a manager before. I have my own business and sure. But working for a store? I didn't go to school for that. Like, what am I supposed to do? So, I could keep going, but this story is lengthy. All I can tell you is literally from the beginning to the end. I'll tell you the end. I came to work. I had been working there for over a month. And they still had me wearing the same shirt that the cooks wear. I did not have a proper uniform shirt. So when I came in on time to work, they refused to even let me back there. By this time, it's been like 3 or 4 fires that's done happened in the store since I've been working there in a month. And the fire marshal has shut them down. And it's probably been, I don't know how many inspections in the time that I had this job. So that's what the problem was. That's why they wouldn't let me into the back. They wouldn't let me back there because they knew if they saw me, the fire marshal, the inspector, whoever it was that was back there, if they saw me wearing that shirt and not a uniform shirt, which I had been begging for a uniform shirt for over a month at this point, that they was going to get another ding on their record. They couldn't handle it. So I was actually talking to somebody at the time, and they was like, you need to get out of there. You need to go. Like, You already know you need this bread. You know you need this money. Your first check was only $200 and some dollars. That ain't even gonna make a dent in your rent that you have every week. And the whole reason why you even took this job in the first place is just to be able to keep a roof over your head. And they not letting you work. Even when you are showing up to work, they sending you home early because they got too many people working. And even when managers clock out so others can stay on the clock, they still sending people home. It's like, you need to walk over there to Family Dollar, get you a job. So that's exactly what I did. I left over there, went over there, told them, the same thing I had told that guy. I told the next guy, the next manager. He's like, well, I hire different, boom, boom, boom. And literally, I ain't gonna go into that story, but let's just say Family Dollar ended exactly the same way Popeyes ended. Now, this is where the obedience rather than sacrifice part comes in the middle of it all, I was getting away from my spirituality. In the middle of it all, I was getting away from the voice of God. Now he was getting away from me. I mean, lighter and lighter and lighter, because I wasn't doing what I was used to doing. I wasn't doing what he had programmed me to do. I meditated every day, sometimes 6 times a day or more. I went outside and grounded myself next to a tree and literally put my toes into the soil and connected my heart space with trees to stay grounded and centered. I ran my business. I kept my space clean. Those were things that I was doing and I had been doing for years. So when I got these jobs, I'm tired. I'm tired when I get off. I'm tired when I wake up. I'm just plumb tired and I'm becoming more and more drained. Fear, which God does not give us the energy of fear, only low vibrational energy does, and being sacrificial as opposed to being obedient, or you could say being disobedient as opposed to being obedient. That's what it's gonna make you feel like. That's what it's gonna make you look like, and that's what the circumstances and situations are gonna be. I kept sacrificing myself. Like I said to y'all in the previous video, I kept having all these people, Rashawn, to get a job. You need a job, Rashawn. Running your business, oh, that's not enough. And it's like, well, it's been enough. It was enough when I was in one industry. It was enough when I got into the next industry. What has happened all of a sudden now? And that's literally if my ears were in tune like they should have been at that time. What my father and my first husband was probably trying to tell me at that time. It ain't even probably. I know he was telling me that at that time. I'm not saying to you that I wouldn't end up in home health, but I'd already grown up doing it. I grew up doing it at my house as well as I did for other folks. So I probably would have ended up still getting my certification to work in home health, and that would have been what he would have divinely guided, supported, and provided for me to do at that time, and it would have made the transitions so much easier and so much better, because I was in a perfect position to live the life and lifestyle I'm living right now, but back then, and my businesses still would have flourished. I wouldn't have been running out of clients and customers because I wasn't there to answer the phone when they finally did call me. I would have had a job that worked for me, not me working for it, as well as I still would have had my businesses that were working for me instead of me working for it. But what was my problem? I was sacrificing myself as opposed to just being obedient. And the number one way in which I could have continued to do that is never stopping my spiritual work that I was supposed to be doing at that time. Never stopping the spiritual work I was supposed to be doing continuously with myself, as well as with all the others that God was sending to me. That's when I got it wrong. Don't make my mistake. Don't mistake giving your sacrifice is more important than giving your obedience. If God is leading you in a certain direction, or if you can't hear him, you need to start hearing him again. Whatever choices and decisions got you into a place and position where you are no longer hearing his voice clearly, stop. Do just like what they said, stop, drop, and roll. If you get on fire, stop, drop, and roll. Drop down to your knees and pray. If you are an affirmation person, start doing it. If you are a prayer person, start doing it. Whatever it is that you do to get into meditative mode again, so you can retrieve your peace, because when your peace is missing, so is the voice of God. But when your peace is present, his presence becomes made manifest before you. And that's the tea. I love y'all. Only allow this to be a template to get you and keep you in alignment for your greatest and highest good. And I hope y'all have an amazing day. You heard me? Peace.